In this video, we are going to learn about the ABC model of behavior. I should say the ABC model is the foundation for everything that we will cover in the MWell. The strategies that we will learn in MWell are all based on this ABC model of behavior. As children grow up, they begin to display different behaviors at home, school, and the community where they live. This behavior may be desirable or undesirable to parents, caretakers, or teachers. When we see the undesirable behaviors that have impact on children's safety, learning, or with their relationship with peers, we want to pick a strategy to decrease the undesirable behaviors or to increase a desirable behaviors. In order to pick a right strategy to help children, we must understand the child's behavior first before we are able to identify or select an effective strategy to help them. So, how do we do that? We can apply ABC model of behavior to understand the child's behavior. We first must understand what the purpose of the behavior is. We must know that all behaviors have a purpose. Even challenging ones have a purpose. There's a story or function behind every behavior, and our journey begins with exploring these purposes. Identifying the purpose of a behavior is really important, especially in thinking about our most challenging students. For children and adults, most behaviors serve one of three functions: to get something, including attention. For example, a child may keep touching the parent's feet to get attention. A child may disrupt a class to gain attention from the teacher. To get out of something. Sometimes behavior serves the purpose of escaping or avoiding a situation. Children might resort to disruptive behavior as a way to exit an uncomfortable or challenging task. Example: a child refuses to participate in an activity to avoid a perceived stressful situation. To self-stimulate or self-regulate. Some behaviors are a means for self-stimulation or self-regulation. Children may engage in certain actions to soothe themselves, manage stress, or find comfort. For example, a child disturbing back and forth to cope with anxiety. The ABC model of behavior can help us figure out the purpose or function of any behavior, particularly behavior that impacts the safety and or learning of a child, their classmates, or their teachers and parents. Once we know the purpose and function, we can then pick out effective strategies accordingly. The ABCs of behavior tell us that every behavior, the B, is preceded by an antecedent or contributing factors, the A, and followed with a consequence or reaction, the C. Let's start with B. Behaviors are what the child says or does. The B is often the behavior that an adult wants to change, like hitting or crying or running out of the classroom. It may be under the child's control or not under their control, especially if the child is not old enough or with minimal capacity to do an assigned activity. For example, Tom may constantly refuse to go to school. The behavior may be because Tom wants to stay home watching cartoons, or he could be avoiding being bullied at school for putting on old and tight uniform shorts. Another example is that many times children show excitement with jumping or screaming behavior. This behavior may be how they express themselves according to their age rather than a misbehavior. A is the antecedent. An antecedent is what comes before a behavior. An antecedent could be things others do or say. For example, a criticism from a teacher or a set of rules from an authority figure can be the antecedent. Criticism and unrealistic rules can make a child feel frustrated. An antecedent could also be a situation or environment. For example, financial challenges at home or a bullying situation in school can influence a child's actions, behaviors. A crowded and noisy environment with too much audio and visual sensory input can also make a child not able to pay attention. Child characteristics or temporary states can also be the antecedent. For example, a child with irritable temperament, with illness, disability, or poor language skills may have more challenges in school or getting along well with friends. It is important to remember that antecedents are powerful clues that help us understand the precursors to a child's behavior. By identifying and recognizing these factors, we can proactively address potential triggers and create environments that support positive outcomes for children. C is the consequence. A consequence is what follows the behavior. The word consequence has a negative connotation, but we don't necessarily mean punishment here. We are using the word consequence to mean whatever comes after the behavior. So for every action or behavior, there is a reaction. How adults or peers react to a child's behavior form a significant part of consequences. Consequences can be both positive and negative. Positive consequences, including giving positive reinforcement, praise, encouragement, constructive feedback from adults, increase the likelihood of the child's behavior recurring. In contrast, negative consequences may decrease the likelihood of a behavior. For example, expressing disappointment or not giving attention to a child's annoying behavior can serve as negative consequences that may decrease the likelihood of the child's behavior. Let's look at a few more examples and see how ABC model play out in the real life. Let's start with the Christine example. Christine supports her mother at her business after school up to 1 a.m. She's awake by 5 a.m. to reach school on time. She sleeps in the morning lesson. The teacher shouts at Christine, What are the ABCs here? In this example, Christine sleeps in the morning lesson is the undesired behavior we want to focus on. The visible antecedent is Christine supports her mother at her business after school up to 1 a.m. and wakes up by 5 a.m. to reach school on time. The consequence is the teacher shouts at Christine. Now, you know how to apply ABC to analyze a behavior. Let's take this further. Let's apply this ABC model not only to better understand students' problem behaviors, but also to further use the behavior analysis information to better manage or respond to children's behaviors. Let's see how we do this. Let's take a look at Teacher Mary's case. In Teacher Mary's class, Paul getting up in her class, which disrupting her teaching. In this case, getting up is an undesirable behavior that the teacher noticed. Teacher Mary is not clear what happened to Paul, and the antecedent is not clear to the teacher. If Teacher Mary is applying the ABC model, she might first find out the antecedent before she yells or reacts to Paul's disruptive behavior. She may ask Paul, "Why are you getting up?" Paul may tell Teacher Mary because he could not see what the teacher was writing. By gaining insights into the cause, the antecedent of the behavior, Teacher Mary may not shout at Paul. Instead, she may rearrange the seating so Paul can stop standing up during the class. In this example, you can see how Teacher Mary used the ABC behavior analysis, help her get more informed and come up with effective strategies, and use more positive response to stop Paul's disruptive behavior. For more practice, you can use this ABC observation tool, which can be found in the resource or workbook. You can plug in the antecedents and consequences for the behavior that you want to change. You can observe and analyze the behavior first. You can do this yourself or work with parents or others to figure out together. Remember, we want to understand the ABC and function of the behavior first. We will do more practice in our group meeting session. To sum it all up, using the ABC model of behavior is a useful strategy that helps us understand behavior by examining antecedents, behaviors, and consequences. The ABC behavior analysis can help adults manage and respond to children's behaviors in better ways. Let's give it a try.